Hey, hello, it is August 18th, and I didn't close out my Facebook window, so if I get a beep while I'm recording this, then I'm sorry. I've been wanting to, write for my political Carrion site all week, and there's two reasons why I haven't. It's like everything, it changed day to day, what was happening in the news, and two, I've been really busy. You know, I keep talking about how we're getting our house ready to sell, and we're really getting. It's been bad this week. It's been bad. Like all of my workout clothes have paint on them because we've been painting and painting and painting and painting. But it is Friday, and I wanted to get a little something out there. And this is kind of experimenting, playing with this website and this video option that they have. It is Friday. That means it's Ancient Aliens Marathon. What do I like to do on Fridays in the Ancient Aliens Marathon? I like to drink while I watch Ancient Aliens because it's hilarious. So I had talked about this on my Facebook page, Rocker Whiskey. One of our drywall contractors actually started this distillery. It's in Littleton, and really fun place. Aesthetically, it is absolutely fine. Is it illegal to do this? No, I think it's on network television or something, right? Yeah. Forgot to say slancha first. Slancha. I had some things come to mind in regards to this whole racism issue that's here in this country. And yeah, I'm white. And do I get discriminated against? No. I think probably the worst thing that's happened to me is because of how I look, or when I was younger and prettier. There were a lot of people that made assumptions about me based upon my appearance, that perhaps I was promiscuous or I was dense. Neither of those things are true. So I've been judged based upon my appearance. I think we've all been judged based upon our appearance. Somebody has, they're not dressed well or they're dirty or whatever. We all prejudge that. But I tell you, for some years now, I've been accused of being a racist because I didn't support Barack Obama. I didn't support Barack Obama because of me not supporting him was because of his skin color. I didn't support him because I didn't believe in his interpretation of the Constitution and what he defined the role of government to be. And it was actually pretty normal to be called a racist because I did not support him. That is the most asinine, ridiculous, absurd, offensive thing that you could probably say to me, a thinking human being here in this day and age. I'm going to jump to a couple of stories that I want to share here. And I know a lot of my white friends are entirely pissed off right now as well, because we're tired of being lumped in with these people they're like, honestly, this percent of the population. And so when you do that, when you broad brush stroke all of us, you're creating this animosity for yourself. No, that's not the whiskey talking. Not yet. I had, probably a year and a half ago, and I'm sharing kind of a personal story here of some folks that I ran across. I contacted someone to perform a service for me at my home. No, not that kind of service. He owns a local business, and I needed what he provides, and really liked this guy a lot. We talked for an hour. He needed to be doing his job, and I was just busy jabbering. He is a minority. He is a Latino. I jumped on Facebook after all of that because I wanted to give good feedback for his business, and found him, found his business, found him, found his wife. And we do the whole troll thing here on Facebook. So I went and looked at his Facebook page, which you could see. Then I looked at her Facebook page. And she was a very negative woman. Everything on her page was race-based. She's a Latina. And I remember looking at that, and this is a year and a half ago. I remember looking at that and thinking, I feel sorry for that guy if he's married to someone that's that ugly on the inside. That's how I see it. She's negative. She's just ugly on the inside. All of her Facebook friends were minorities. She didn't have any white friends listed in her Facebook. So, yeah, I felt bad for him. So probably about, fast forward 6 months after that point, I needed his services again. And I was talking to my husband going, you know what, I haven't seen his truck around here anymore. I wonder if he's still in the area. And thought, well, I'll hunt him down and find him. And it said that he had left Henderson when I found him and gone to Denver. And I thought, that's weird. Why did he go to Denver? Why is he gone? I thought he was doing really well here. That's what he told me he was doing. He wanted me to get in touch with him. He made me promise him to get in touch with him when I put my house up for sale. And so doing what we do on Facebook, I couldn't find really him anymore. And so I looked for her. She has a very unique name, and so it was easy for me to, she's the only person I've ever run across with this name. I'm not going to say it because, one, I'm not going to out her, and two, I butcher the name if I tried to say it, and I don't want to disrespect her that way. But I jumped on, I found her Facebook page, and according to her, he had left her for another woman and they were divorced. And this is not me condoning adultery in any manner, but the first thought that came to mind was, I'd probably be cheating on her too. As negative as she is, that was coming. Didn't see that one, right? And it's just what we think as human beings, because she was just, I call it fugly. She was fugly on the inside. Who wants to be around that? That's not a good thing to be around. It's very unhealthy. And so today, they came to mind again, because I was thinking about, hey, I need to have this done, and this is what that guy does. And so they came to mind again. And so I went and looked at her Facebook page again today, and because she's got everything set to public. So her daughter had started school in one of the local elementary schools here. Now, I'm from Brighton. Technically, I'm in Henderson, but I'm from Brighton. I graduated from Brighton. My husband graduated from Brighton. All of our kids graduated from Brighton. My husband and I graduated, like 80s. And at that time, it was a very diverse, ethnically tolerant community. And it's only gotten better since then. It is even more ethnically diverse now than it was back in the 80s. There is a large, obviously there's a large Latino population here in the Brighton area, because we're kind of, that agrarian mindset. So there's a lot of people that came here to work. They settled here. They had families. They grew. That's what we did. We also have a large Japanese American population in this part of the state. And it's let's see, if you're of Japanese American descent in Brighton, Colorado, let's just say you're not here because your ancestors thought it was going to be a better opportunity to be in Brighton, if you know what I mean. Also done by a Democrat president, the progressive hero FDR, right? Those internment camps that were very near here. So my kids, we grew up with the Japanese American and the Mexican American population in Brighton. My kids, there are even more groups that came in when my kids were growing up here. There's a large African American population here now. There's a large Hmong population here now. There's a Sikh temple not that far away, so there's quite a few Sikhs in the community here. There's even a large Russian immigrant population that has settled kind of like between here and Thornton. A lot of them go to the school that my youngest went to. And because there were all these rumors about, those Russian gangs, which was, none of that was true. Kids create all of this garbage. But so this lady that I'm talking about, I digress. Sorry, I'll go back there. I was looking at her Facebook page, and she was, her daughter started school here at a local elementary school. And then the grandparent chimes in, I just feel so sorry for her having to face the racism that she's going to face at that school. And I'm sitting here going, what the fuck, man? So the daughter, this lady, because it was the grandparent that said that, said, yes, we're going to sit down and talk to our children about how white kids are going to treat them different. And I'm sorry, I'm fucking offended by that. I did not raise my children to be racist. Now, my parents were from the Deep South. Okay, they saw true racism. They knew it. That's one of the reasons that they left the South and decided to settle in Colorado. They never taught that to us kids when we were growing up. And I have stories to share about times that I saw racism and things that were said to me. And I remember going to my mother and going, what the hell is that about? Of course, I didn't say that to my mother. I didn't use that H word because she was a good Christian woman. But it's foreign to me to think about the ideas that anyone judges anyone based upon skin color. That's just not what we do here in Brighton. And of other places, I'm sorry, our tiny little town here, you think we're a bunch of rednecks? No, we're not. We're a very diverse community. And I'm honored and privileged that I grew up here and that I raised my children here. My son, middle son, moved off to Oregon. He moved to like the middle of Oregon with a bunch of white people. And actually, when they were moving up there, I'm like, are you sure you want to go there? Because there's a lot of white people up there. I mean, they're white. And that's what he has told me since he's been there is it's just a bunch of old white racists here, Mom. They're not near Portland. They're out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. And it's a bunch of white racists. And he was reminiscing his days at Brighton High School and the diversity that he was exposed to. Naturally, it was not anything that was pushed upon him. It's just who we are here. And so when I'm reading this post from this woman about how she is actually teaching her daughter to prejudge my kid, my white kid, your white kid, and how they're going to perceive them. Who's the racist in that situation? It's not my kid. It's not your kid. It's her kid. And if she has had some, and I would imagine that she's had negative experiences as a Latina, and maybe that is part of the reason why she's so angry. When I look at her Facebook page, I just see, man, she's an asshole. So maybe people are not nicer to her because she's an asshole and not because of her skin color. And I tell you, this whole thing has been really disturbing to me as a lover of the Constitution. You know, Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson is my favorite president. No, he did not support slavery the way everyone thinks he does. I think you need to go back and read some more history about Thomas Jefferson before you go ahead and indict him of that type of bigotry, because that's not actually what happened. All of them owned slaves. If you're going to go back and start, excommunicating all of our presidents because they owned slaves, you're going to be excommunicating a lot of presidents, even the ones that you claim to hold near and dear to you. And I understand I'm rambling here. What am I at? 12 minutes. Maybe that's a little bit of the whiskey with the rambling. But I tell you, it's frustrating to me as a woman. Now, my last name is supposed to be Lucero, okay? I'm supposed to be Stacy Lucero sitting here. Do I look like a Lucero? My husband's dad, my father-in-law, changed his name to his stepdad as opposed to his biological father. And we're supposed to be Luceros. That's how intermixed we are here in this country. And that's what I think is absolutely beautiful and wonderful about this country, is the way that we are mixed. And trying to define yourself by your skin color, I think is toxic. It's toxic. And I have absolute compassion towards people who suffer true racism. You talk to anyone that's a person of color, and they've got some horrifying stories to share with you. But I'm not the enemy. And the people that are, the overwhelming majority of America are not the enemy. And seeing all of this has just been very upsetting. And I'm hoping to do some more, maybe these video cast here for the website and taking it that direction. But I hope you all have a really nice weekend, and I gotta go cook because that's what I do. I cook. Have a nice weekend and happy Eclipse Day on Monday.